भक्तं वातजातं नमामि। श्री राम जय जय रामो, श्री राम जय जय रामो, श्री राम जय जय रामो, श्री राम जय जय राम, 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 श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी, बरनौ रघुवर बिमल जस जोदायक फलचारी, बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार, जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर, रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा, महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संग, कंचन बरण विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा, हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे, शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन, विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाय सजीवन लखन जियाय, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाय, रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई, जहाँ थे कभी गोविंद कहे कहाँ थे। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जल पल भानु, लील्योदायि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माहे, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुख लये तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आप, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा। जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे। मन क्रम वचन ध्यान दोलाए, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा। के सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे। सोई अमृत जीवन फल पावे, चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा। है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे। असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता। असबर देव जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा। सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे। जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई। जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, और देवता चेतन धरहि। हनुमत से सर्वत्र करहि, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा। जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटे ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, नाथ हृदय महादेवा। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्याम रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। पवन सुत्र हनुमान की जय। सीता राम राम राम, सीता राम राम राम। Sita Ram Ram Ram, 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram.
समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि वरणौ रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। When all the kapis, the monkeys, reached back to Kishkinda, even Sugriv had his favorite garden. It was called as Madhuban. And it was laden with many, many fruits. So all the monkeys asked Angad, can we go and eat? So he said, I think you can safely go and eat. Now that we have found Sita, nobody is going to stop us. So just go and eat. And they went. All the guards went to Sugriv and told him, do you know, Angad has allowed all the monkeys to go and eat the fruits of the garden. Sugriv immediately understood. He says these monkeys wouldn't dare to go and celebrate until and unless they have found Sita. So Sugriv went there, and when these leaders of the monkeys came to Sugriv, Sugriv asked them, tell me what happened. And they narrated to him. Now along with Sugriv, all the monkey chieftains all rushed towards Ramchandraji. And Ramchandraji and Lakshmanji were sitting on a white rock. So imagine, no? Ramchandraji's Sham Rang. The rock is white in color, crystal rock, quartz rock you can say. And Bhagwan is sitting on that. And as the monkeys came there so jubilant, victorious, Ramchandraji could understand that they have found Sita. And as they came, Ramchandraji asked them, tell me what happened there. Who did it? Who did it all? And Jambavan, who had gone with all the monkeys along with Angad, he reports to Ramchandraji, this after Doha 29, he says,
चलत मोहि
जामवंत कह सुनि रघुराया जा परनाथ करहु नुमदाया ताहि सदा शुभ कुशल निरंतर सुर नर मुनि प्रसन्नता ऊपर सोई बिरजई बिनई गुण सागर तासु सुजसु त्रैलोक उजागर प्रभु की कृपा भयउ सब काजु जन्म हमार सफल भा आजु नाथ पवन सुत कीन्ही जो करनी सहसहु मख न जाई सो बरनी पवन तनय के चरित सुहाए जामवंत रघुपति ही सुनाए सुनत कृपा निधि मन अति भाए पुनि हनुमान हर्षि लाए कहु तात के भांति जानकी रहति करति रक्षा स्वप्राण की नाम पाहरु दिवस निसी ध्यान तुम्हार कपाट लोचन निज पद जंत्रित जाहि प्राण के बाट सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय.
When the monkeys came and fell at the feet of the two brothers, Bhagwan embraced them with affection and he said, is everyone okay? Everybody's fine? Everybody's come unharmed? How all of you? First he inquired of all of them. Didn't say, did you do my work? Yeah. He inquired about all and everyone's welfare and then inquired about everybody's health, and then Jambavan says, Jambavant kahas sunu raghuraya ja parnath karahu tum daya. He says that, hey Raghuram, on whom you shower your blessings, tehi sada subh kusala nirantar sur nar muni prasannata upar. So where is there to inquire about our welfare, whom you have blessed, that even all the cosmic forces, the devatas also are favorable to them. Now these are small, small lines, but they have got a lot of significance. Sohi bijai binai gun sagar tasu sujas trailok ujagar. So the question of everyone is there, that who actually must have found Sita. Ramchandraji had no doubt. He had given the ring to Hanumanji. He had given the message to Hanumanji. And Jamvan says, he or she is victorious, and he adds with the word victorious, Binay, and humble, full of virtues, an ocean of virtues, Gun Sagar, Tasu Sujasa Trailoka Ujagar. And such a person's glory shines far and wide throughout the world, throughout the universe. Prabhu ki kripa bhayau sab kaju, janma hamar sufal ba aju. That by your grace, all our work or what we went to accomplish has been achieved, and with that, our lives have been blessed. They didn't come and say, hey, we did your work, Can you tell me a gratitude, A thank you will do. He says, our life has become blessed because where would we have got an opportunity to perform such a feat that would become memorable forever? Nath pavan sut kini jo karni, sahasu mukh na jai so barni. And he says, what Hanuman has done, even with countless mouths, his glory cannot be described, or what he has achieved cannot, or what he has accomplished cannot be spoken of. Pavan tanaya ke charit suhaye, Jambavant Raghupati sunai. And Jambavant tells Raghupati all that Hanumanji did. Sunat kripa nidhi man ati bhaye, puni Hanuman harashi alai. And when Ramchandraji heard this, he was full of delight and called Hanumanji close to him. Kaho tat kehi bati janaki, rahati karati racha swapranaki. Tell me, my Hanuman, how is Janaki, separated from me, protecting her life? And Hanumanji replies, Naam paharu divas nisi dhyana tumar kapat. He says, Naam paharu. And for sadhakas who are pining to reach that state, pining to reach the Lord, he says, your name, and name has got two, Ra and Ma, are like the two guards that are watching day and night over her. But how is she protecting her life? Means so far away. He knows that in that fire of separation, how can even Sita be alive? So what and how is she protecting to keep herself alive for me? In the Bhagavatam, when Uddhav goes to meet the gopis, he sees the anguish, the sorrows, the pining of the gopis. And he asks them that if you pine for Krishna so much, Mathura is not so far away, why don't you go there and see Krishna? They said that if he doesn't want us to come, and we could be a cause of his embarrassment amongst this, people there, then we don't want to go and impose ourselves on him. Why didn't you just call him and tell him to come? You've never sent a message to him. They said that he must be so busy. We don't want to disturb him. He asked that if you're pining for him so much, then how can you be alive? They said it would be better to give up our life in this pangs of separation. But in case we give up our life because of this sorrow, our Krishna will be blamed, our Krishna will be sad. So we rather bear this sorrow than to let go of this life. Here, Hanumanji says, Naam Paharu. Naam Paharu. The name is the guard. निसी ध्यान तुम्हार कपाट. So Divas Nisi Naam Paharu. Dhyana Tumhara Kapat. And her constant meditation on you is like that safe. Lochan Nij Pada Jantrita. And her eyes fixed at her feet are like that lock, that keeps her life in this body. Otherwise, long ago it would have gone. And while I was leaving, she gave me this Chudamani. Chalat mohi Chudamani leeni, Raghupati Hridaya lai so leeni. Raghupati took it and held it close to his heart. And Hanumanji says, there are some words that Sita ji has said with tears in her eyes. Anuja Samet Gahev Prabhu Charana Deen Bandhu Pranatarati Harana. She says, Anuja Sahit Samet. She takes Lakshmanji's name first, because she had offended Lakshman. She had accused Lakshman. Anuja Sameta Gahu Prabhu Charna. So go to the Lord, because Lakshmanji will be with my Lord only. And tell him that, oh, protector of those who are devoted and helpless, take away my sorrow. Manakrama vachana charana anuragi, kahi aparad nath haun tyagi. That I have all my life been devoted to you, then why have you abandoned me? I know there is one fault of mine. Avaguna ek mor main mana, bichurat pran nakini payana. I understand this is one of my faults, that the moment I was separated from you, my life should have left this body. But that's not my fault. The criminals are these two eyes. Nath so nayanahi ko aparada, nisrat pran karai hati bada. Is not allowing my life to leave this body. Why? That when that fire burns of separation to take away my life, at that moment they shower the rain of tears to quench that fire, with the hope that these eyes would get one more glimpse of you. And Hanumanji says, this is the condition of Sita. Now quickly, remove her sorrows. Suni Sita dukha prabhu sukha ayana, bhari aaye jal rajiva nayana. We'll sing this portion.
Suni Sita dukh prabhu sukh ayana, bhari aaye jal rajiva nayana. बचन काय मन मम गति जाहि, सपन यूं बूझिय विपत्ति की ताहि। कह हनुमंत विपत्ति प्रभु सोई, जब तव सुमिरन भजन न होई। केतिक बात प्रभु जातु धान की, रिपुहि जीति हानि बिजान की। सुनु कपि तोहि समान उपकारी, नहीं को सुर नर मुनि तनु धारे, प्रति उपकार करऊं का तोरा, सन्मुख होई न सकत मन मोरा, सुनु सुत तोहि और न मैं नाहि, देखयूं करि विचार मन माहि, पुनि पुनि कपि चितव सुर त्राता, लोचन नीर पुलक अति गाता, सुनि प्रभु बचन बिलोकि मुख, गात हर्षि हनुमंत, चरण परेउ प्रेमाकुल, त्राहि त्राहि भगवंत।
सुनी सीता दुख प्रभु सुख अयना, that abode of bliss, भरी आए जल राजीव नयना, listening to the sorrows of Sita, that very embodiment of bliss, one whose nature itself is bliss. His eyes were filled with tears. बचन काय मन मम गति जाहि, सपनेहु भूजय विपति की ताहि. And Ramchandra ji is saying that one who with his action, thought and deed has sought me, served me alone, such a person even in his dream cannot have any problems or sorrows. And Sita too has, with her heart, with her love, served me. So where has this law of the universe? People say that, Ramchandra ji is saying that my sevak and my devotee can never ever suffer. Na me bhakta pranashyati. In the Gita it is said. So how can Sita be suffering like this? But the reply that Hanumanji gives, Kaha Hanumant Bipati Prabhu Soi, Jab Tava Simran Bhajan Na Hui. Just remember these words. In Narad Bhakti Sutra, what is the sure sign of devotion? Lakshana of Bhakti. There Narad ji says, Tad arpita akhila charata, tad vismarane parama vyakulta. For a lover, being separated from the beloved is no doubt sorrow. But in that sorrow also, the devotee finds great joy. And therefore the gopis and Radha remained away from Krishna. But for them the only sorrow, the excruciating pain is tad vismarane parama vyakulata. Being separate from the beloved is not an obstacle in love. But forgetting the beloved even for a second, due to hatred of someone, due to our own ego, into our own self-pity, that is excruciating pain. Because a lover, not even for a second, can forget his or her beloved. And therefore he says, Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Kaha Hanumant Bipati Prabhu Soi. For a devotee, that alone is a problem and cause of sorrow. Jab tava sumirana bhajanana hoi. That when loses memory of you and bhajan is not able to serve you. केतिक बात प्रभु जातु दान की. Now, please, the lamenting of our mother Sita, my mother Sita, please, now quickly come and destroy all these Rakshasas and bring Sita back. Ramchandra ji, when he hears Hanuman and having brought the sign of Sita, and now we know where Sita is, Sunu kapitehi samana upakari nahi kahu sur nar muni tanudhari. Ramchandra ji says this, Raghupati kini bahut badai, not once. He says to Hanuman that there has been no well-wisher of mine. Bhagwan is well-wisher of everybody, but Bhagwan's well-wisher people are not. And even those who serve and those who do my work, there has been none like you amongst the Devatas, the human beings, and even amongst the Asuras. Asuras might turn against me. But even among Sura, Nara, Muni, nobody, even amongst the sages, no one has been such a sevak like you. Prati upakar karau ka tora, sanmukh hoi na sakat manamora. He says, what can I give you in return? I cannot think of anything that I can give you in return for what you have done. Just even to express my love and gratitude to you. I cannot give anything in return to you. And some things we must remain indebted only. God, parents, Guru. This doesn't mean, what can I give? That as much as we may do service, offer, but never think that I can pay debts to my parents, God and Guru. We remain ever indebted to them. And here Bhagwan tells to Hanuman that by giving you something, what can I give you? Giving you something, I don't think I can ever, as you say, pay back or gift back what you have given me. Because you have returned gifts, no? Nowadays, somebody comes to your birthday, they give you and then you give them. I cannot give. And sunu sutta tohi urina mein nahi dekhau kari bichar man mahi. And he calls Hanumanji as Sutta, my son. So far, Ramchandra is not called Hanumanji son, because till mother confirms that he is son, father has no right. So he says, Sunu sutta tohi urina mein nahi, dekhau kari bichar man mahi. So I am not able to give out, I have to think. And again and again, Ramchandra is just looking at Hanumanji and showering his glances on him with eyes full of tears, his own voice choked. Same way Hanumanji is looking at the Lord of the universe, saying these words, Hanuman with choked voice, with tears in his eyes and horripilations in his body. Suni Prabhu Bachana bilo ki mukha, gata harishi Hanumant, charan parayu prema kul trahi trahi Bhagavant. Hanumanji fell at the feet of Ramchandra ji, saying that in his heart that there's nothing that I could do without your grace. And you see, in this world, somebody praises us little bit. Don't say that, huh? People are ready for their criticism, but they're not ready to give any praise. They're thinking, oh, if we praise that person's ego will go high. That's not for you to judge. But little praise or even false flattery, our ego bloats up. Yah Raghupati kini bahut badai. Yah Ramchandra ji, the Lord of the multiverses. That Lord is praising Hanumanji. Hanumanji knows that the only shelter is with humility at the feet of the Lord. Trahi, trahi Bhagavant. Falling at his feet, he says, please protect me, please protect me. Bar bar Prabhu chahi uthava, prema magan tehi uthabana bhava. Again and again, Ramchandra ji is trying to pick him up, to get up, not fall at his feet. But so full of emotion, Hanumanji just could not be lifted from the feet of Ramchandra ji. And therefore, Ramchandra ji just places his lotus hands on Hanumanji's head. And this Shivji is telling Bhavani, and Hanumanji is Rudra Avatar. And remembering this, can you imagine Shivji's condition when he's saying, he says that having Ramchandraji's hand on my head, and he doesn't openly say, he says, Sumira Sudasa Magana Gaurisa. That Parvati ji observes that looking at that scene, how Shivji is full of ecstasy. Savadhan man kari puni sankar, lage kahan katha ati sundar. But a speaker, if he gets too emotional, he cannot speak anymore. And Guru has to continue to speak. So, controlling his emotion, Lord Shankara continues telling Girija the story. Now Bhagwan said, what, all the time you are at my feet? And Bhagwan picks up Hanumanji with his hands and embraces him tightly. And both are in each other's arms for a very long time, and Ramchandra ji doesn't want to let go. And Hanuman ji again and again trying to fall at the feet of Ramchandra ji, and Ramchandra ji holding Hanuman in his arms, holds him close to his heart, and then makes him sit close beside him. Say, come, sit close beside me. And then he says, tell me, how does this Ravan administer his Lanka? And tell me, what all you did there, no? And of course, Hanumanji narrates what we have already heard. And he says, by your grace, and Ramchandra says, you managed to burn the whole Lanka? You know, I can relate with all these, because this is the same expression. You do something so little and come, and our Gurudev would just look at you with such pride and with such joy and says, you did this? If you had an ego, will come bhadak one, no? Not with his hands. But how he would just look at you and say, like, you did this. And Ramchandra with such pride looks at him. And Hanumanji says that nothing is unattainable, my Lord, by who enjoys your grace. And even one shred of cotton can burn up a whole forest, or even dry up the ocean, that submarine fire. So all by your grace only has happened. And when Ramchandra says, what can I give you? And I'd rather be indebted to you, but so that my Bhagwan never remains indebted to me. He says, Nath Bhagati Ati Sukhadaini Dehu Kripa Kari Anapayini. And Hanumanji bows down and says that give me that single pointing, unsevering devotion to you. And Bhagwan, listening to these sweet words of Hanumanji, said, Evamastu, so be it. Arey, if you have to ask Bhagwan of anything, why ask of anything with his general grace for everybody? You can attain it. And if you have to ask, then ask for that which is impossible to gain on your own. The infinite cannot be gained by any of our efforts, and nor can that supreme devotion be gained. Ask from the Lord only, that I just want that unbroken, unsevering devotion to you, which is the giver of all bliss. And if I have love for you, O Lord, happiness, bliss, achievement, everything is there. What more do I want? Because that's the source of all happiness. And this all portion of devotion is being spoken by Shivji to Parvati. And he says, Uma Ram Subhau Jehi Jana. That anyone who understands Bhagwan's Swabhava, Tahi Bhajan Taji Bhavana Ana. If anybody just knows about the greatness and the nature of the Lord, such a person, such a person, other than worshipping, serving, loving the Lord, will have no other thought in his or her mind. And there's another saying here. Yah sambad jasu ur ava Raghupati charana bhagati soi pava. Don't think that listening to Ramayana is just a story. Here Shivji is saying, Sakhi Gaurisa. Yah samvad jasu ur ava. One who has understood the essence of this dialogue between Ramchandraji and Hanumanji, such a person, Raghupati Charana Bhagati Soi Pava. Such a person will have devotion for the feet of the Lord. So blessed are we that we have this opportunity today on Sri Hanuman Jayanti to listen to this beautiful section, this katha, where Ramchandraji and Hanumanji, both expressing their love, are in each other's arms. When seeing this love of Ramchandraji towards Hanumanji and Hanumanji's devotion, all the monkeys there said, Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Siya Ram,
Jai Pavanasuta Hanuman.
Jai Pavanasuta.
So they all did Jai Jaikar of both of them. Now, Hanumanji said, now let us quickly, and Ramchandraji also said to Sugriv, now let's not waste a second. Let us now only leave for there. And Sugriv immediately got all the monkeys organized. And they were already, they didn't say, oh, you see, we've just come back. Let us rest for a while. There's so much, whole week we have to do, and now tomorrow again, Hanuman Jayanti arrangements. Yeah. Even those monkeys who had just returned from the search, all of them got organized. And it is said now, maybe an exaggeration that you might think, but billions of monkeys, like the whole, if human beings will not rise to do the Lord's work, to protect the world, then understand, there will be the rise of the apes. And all these millions, they said actually the figure given here is some billions. And that time, animals were there in plenty. Yeah. They were overpopulated. Human beings were less. Yeah. And see what happens when human beings become more. They all gathered together, the monkeys, the bears, and all the creatures of the forest, all of them, Rama kaj karibe ko atur. They all went because here is saving Sita, not because she's a helpless woman, but reaching out to that spiritual culture, that spiritual knowledge, which brings about harmony and peace, which has been usurped, which has been grabbed for their selfish motive and their own desire by these Rakshasas and by Ravan. Now all of them gathered together, and what can you imagine, these millions of billions of monkeys heading towards the shore of Bharat. All of them, that the whole world was reverberating with that sound. Chikkari.
चिक्करहि दिग्गज डोल महि गिरि लोल सागर खर बरे मन हर्ष सब गंधर्व सुर मुनि नाग किन्नर दुख टरे कट कट की मरकट बिकट भट बहु कोटि कोटि न धावहि जय राम प्रबल प्रताप कौशल नाथ गुण गण गावहि सही सकन भार उदार अहिपति बार बार ही मोहई गह दसन पुनि पुनि कमठ पृष्ठ कठोर सो किमि सोहई रघुबीर रुचिर प्रयाण प्रस्थिति जानि परम सुहावनि जनु कमठ घर पर सर पराज सो लिखत अहि जल पावनी एहि विधि जाय कृपा निधि उतरे सागर तीर जहाँ तहाँ लागे खान फल भालु विपुल कपिबीर.
It is said in our mystical literature that on the 8 sides of this earth, that's why we'll go to temples also, you will find elephants holding the various directions of the roof of the temple, or they'll be there. So the elephants of the 8 cardinal points trumpeted, the earth rocked, the mountains trembled, and the oceans were rising in agitation. All the devatas, Gandharvas, Nagas, Kinnars, etc. were delighting in their heart that now that Ravan who has suppressed all of them will be vanquished. While all the warriors in the army, the monkeys, tightening their teeth. Have you seen monkeys? They go, they can create terror. Even the small little monkey. And when they do that, run from there, They don't wag their tail like a dog or go, they just, the sight itself is frightening. Yeah. And here something very interesting Tulsidas ji says, that even Sheshnag, it's mystically pointed out, and actually it represents the principle of time. Even the principle of time, Sheshnag, could not hold the burden of the earth. With what might, with what enthusiasm, with what power these monkeys moved ahead to fulfill Bhagwan's work. And so much so, and this is very interesting, that there, Sheshnag, when you're holding a big load, you kind of clench your teeth. He put his fangs on the tortoise, because Bhagwan is supporting the earth. If you hear the Samudra Manthan and all that, so there'll be a lot of significance here, and that's how you have on the tortoise the impression of Sheshnag's teeth, and it is said that on that is the markings, the complete narration of the Ramayana. That's what Goswami Tulsidas ji said. But now you can do your research and maybe do a PhD on it and find out what it is. While here, all these armies with such enthusiasm are proceeding towards Lanka. Uha nisachar rahi sasanka. Jab te jari gayo kapi Lanka. And this is a nice play that Tulsidas ji has. That wherever there is Ramchandra ji, he places us there. Iha. So that we are with Ramchandra ji. And Lanka is Uha. Far away. But surprisingly, where the devotee is, when Hanumanji is in Lanka, he'll say Iha. Yeah, he keeps himself with the devotee. That's another interesting thing that we can see about the devotion of Tulsi Das Sada Hari Chera Kije Nath Hridaya Mahadera. Uha nisi char rahi sasanka jabate jari gayo kapi Lanka. And there in Lanka, everybody stayed so full of fear ever since Hanumanji left Lanka burning. Nij nij graha sab karahi bichara nahi nisichar kul kere ubara. That we know now that now we asuras are not going to survive. They who had done atrocities for so many years, in fact so many centuries, now they know that with the rise of this mighty Kapi power, they are now, either they straighten their ways or they are under major trouble. Jasu doot bal bharani na jai, tehi aaye pur kavan balai. They said, one who is messenger single-handedly could do this to Lanka. What good will happen to Lanka? Because they got the news already that the army with Ram and Lakhan have reached the shores of Bharat. So when they come to Lanka, what good is happening? And now they were criticizing their own Ravan only. This message Mandodari got. Mandodari went and told Ravan that listen, all the news is spreading. People in the kingdom are living with fear. With folded hands, I am pleading to you. In a way, she says that if Sita was agreeing to get married to you, I would bring her to you. But you have kidnapped a woman against her wishes? And whose Duta can do this to Lanka? Can you imagine when he comes, what is he going to do? You've lost even a son already. She pleads to him. And you know that he is no ordinary person. You may write whatever, or you might think whatever, that he is a man, he is a this, he is that, and you can do anything you want. Remember that he is the one who has killed single-handedly Khar and Dushan. And she tells him, it is believed and known that he is the very Lord of the universe. And what will he be able to do? Ravan laughed at her. And that is Ravan's words. Huh? Don't tell that in a Ramayana. They want to marry Ravan. He said, you women. This is Ravan's word. You women are always insecure and afraid. This is not Ramayan's word. Take it out of context, yeah, and go and marry Ravan. He says that, by nature you women are insecure. What are you afraid of? I have killed so many people. I have even conquered the Devatas. Don't you think what I'll do? She pleads to him, but he doesn't listen to her and just walks into his court. And there he asks them all, that tell me, what should we do? Now that the army is come and the news is spread, yeah, and people are wanting to know what are we going to do. So please give me advice. And for Ravan, yeah, advice was for namesake. He had kept all around him only his sycophants. Yeah. And he says, tell me, they say that this army of man and monkeys have come to the shores. What do you think we should do? He's taking it very casually. What we should do? They said, what are you worried? Yeah. Thank God the ocean has protected them, that they could not come here right away. What can man and monkey do? In fact, if they do come here, we will have a good feast, because we eat on that. We eat them. We don't even have to fight a battle. We'll just send all the Rakshasas, go enjoy a meal. What is there to be concerned about? Let them stay there. And here, Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Sachiva Vaid Guru Tini Jo Priya Bolahi Bhaya As Raj Dharma Tan Tini Kara Hoi Begihi Nas. Here it is said that if a minister, if a doctor, and if the guru, these three use pleasing words from fear of hope of some reward, the result is that one's kingship, one's health, and one's faith, all three will go to the dogs. Yeah? Because we only want to hear phrases, but not from your ministers, not from your doctor, not from your guru. If corrects, it is for your good. So Ravan liked this very much though. Oh, thank you. No, I mean really, I also was thinking there's nothing to be concerned about, but since it is all your opinion also, yeah, just let it be. But that's the time Vibhishan enters. Yeah. And Vibhishan says, and the Vibhishan also comes and sits on his seat. And he was also one of the ministers. His opinion was not asked for. But when he bowed down, and since Ravan had asked all the ministers, he said, since you have asked, let me give you this opinion of mine. That do not underestimate the power of Sri Ram and Lakshman. Do not underestimate that power. And when the enemy is coming into your country, even statecraft says that never have a war in your country because collateral damage will be there. You are sitting here, but this battle can be avoided. All that you have to give up is your arrogance. All that you have to give up is your lust. And he doesn't even use these words, your selfish desire. He doesn't even use these words. He just says that please return Sita back to him. This war can be avoided. It can be stopped. I am like your son, I am your younger brother. Please, please. I plead to you, even if you don't understand, just because I am a younger brother and younger brother asks the elder brother something, will not the elder brother do? You have loved me, please, I beg of you, please give Sita back. Otherwise, the havoc that is going to happen in Lanka, whose one messenger could do, again and again they remind that one messenger could do this, the impact of him. Can you imagine when the master himself comes? Oh, Ravan got angry because such people don't like good advice. Yeah? Our ego only wants to hear what we want to hear. He doesn't like the good advice. And he says, you crook. And these words, Malyavant also, who was one of the ministers, liked it very much. And said that please listen to your younger brother. But Ravan got so angry that he tells tells Vibhishan that you living in my kingdom, eating my food, is praising that tapasvi. I mean that forest dweller. He doesn't even call him prince or king. That forest dweller must be eating just, some fruits and vegetables, vegan fellow. He will have any might and energy to fight with me. You are praising him. You are eating my food and you are praising him. He never called him Ramchandraji. He never called him Ram. Somebody once asked him that, why do you call him Tapasvi, Tapasvi, Tapasvi? He's got a name, no? Call him Ram. Sometimes insultingly also you call somebody by the name. He says, what to do? Even he knew the glory of the name of Ram. That if I even say the word Ram, my desire for Sita only goes away, my lust only goes away. Yeah. And few beautiful words. And he says that you are eating my food. and praising that tapasvi. Then get out, go away there. And then Vibhishan says, Sumati kumati sabke ur rahi, nath puran nigam asakai. Jaha sumati taha sampati nana, jaha kumati taha vipati nidana. He says that intelligence and crookedness is there in everybody's intellect. This we have heard from the Puranas and the scriptures itself, from history itself we have heard. Jaha sumati taha sampati nana. Where there is a virtuous mind and intellect, there prosperity, greatness, success, all will be there. Sampati nana. Jaha kumati, where there is a crooked intellect, deluded intellect, egotistic intellect, taha vipati nidhana. There will be endless calamities. And now I understand that in your mind, kumati, your intellect has only become distorted. Vibhishan told him off. Malya once was his father-in-law. He just threw him out from there. And he too walked away, seeing such harsh words of Ravan. He too walked away. He was an elder. He just walked away. Vibhishan still, his Santanu, he still pleaded, please understand that calamity is about to come to Lanka. But it looks like you have all perversions in you. And know that now Sita has come here as the night of destruction. Because she is the Maya Shakti in whose power Brahmaji creates, Vishnu sustain, and Shiva can destroy. So don't underestimate the power of Sita. She has come here as the very night of destruction for the entire demon race. She is the Kal Ratri. And hearing these words, Ravan actually got up and kicked Vibhishan. He actually kicked Vibhishan. And Vibhishan, remembering the words of Hanumanji, Rama Satya Sankalpa Prabhu Sabha Kala Bas Tori, Main Raghubir Sharan Ab Jahu Dehu Jani Khori. And declaring, he did not defected, declaring loud that you have thrown me out now from here. Then Ram is Satya Sankalpa Prabhu. Ramchandraji is true to his resolve and he will fulfill it. And he is all powerful. And your mind is completely deluded. No? Time of your death has come. I am going to the feet of Raghuvar. And he announces it to everybody. Not that he just, deflected. He announces and he goes. As kahi chala Vibhishan jabahi, ayu heen baye sab tabahi. Sometimes we feel proud that I am feeding someone, but sometimes we do not know because of that person that we have the food to eat and to feed also. Saying loudly when Vibhishan left from there, Ayuhina Baya Sabat Tabahi. That all of the people from that time only had actually lost their life. No longer they would have life. And here Shivji says, Sadhu avagya turat bhavani kar kalyan akhil ke hani. Insulting such a good person, sadhu. Sadhu is not just a tadiwala Baba. Such a saintly person with such a saintly advice for the welfare of you. Sadhu avagya turat bhavani. Hey Bhavani, kar kalyan akhil ke hani. And this is found in Kathopanishad. Yeah? That even accidentally, if you insult such a sadhu, even the merits of yours will be wiped away. Ravan jabahi bibhishan tyaga bhayau bibhav binu tabahi abhaga. The day he abandoned Vibhishan, Ravan brought forth his doomed fate on himself. Chalehu harashi ragunayak pahi karat manorat bahu manamahi. And now Vibhishan goes there, and on his way along with some of his colleagues, he leaves from there, and these Rakshasas had means of flying. So as he is going on his journey, he is in his mind just imagining that now with my eyes I will be able to see that Rajiv Lochan, Ajanu Bhuja, Sharchap Dhar. I will see that one with long arms. I will see with him with his bow and arrows, ever protecting his devotees. I will see that Lord whose every inch is Kandarpa, Aganita, Amita, Chabi, Nava, Neela, Neerada, Sundaram. And at some time he doubts that even am I fit? Am I even fit to go to such a Lord, and will I really be able to see him, meet him? Do I even deserve to be taken by him? But he knows that Tumaro mantra vibhishana mana. Hanumanji had told him that whoever you are, whatever you are, even if you are the greatest of all sinners, just go and surrender to the Lord. And he landed up on the shores of Bharat. Naturally, at that moment, seeing a Nisachar come, a Rakshasa come, all the monkeys were very anxious. They reported to Sugriv. And when Sugriv saw that Ravan's brother Vibhishan has come, and Vibhishan said, take me to Ramchandraji. Sugriv went to Ramchandraji and said that, this Ravan's brother has come. My suggestion is, so Ramchandra said, what is your, because they were all now his friends, his ministers. He said, what is your suggestion? He said, see, he has come. He must be a spy. We do not know. This is war time. And that also enemy's brother. What intention he may have come with, we do not know. He may have come as a spy. I think we should pack him up and send him off. Don't allow him any entry. No immigration rights. Hanumanji listened to this, but he knows his Lord and Master. And Ramchandraji says that you are right, Sugriv. By statecraft, that your advice is right. But I have my promise that anyone whosoever it may be, even if it is api chet sudurachara. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna has mentioned, the moment he turns towards me, comes to me, sadhureva samantavya. Consider him to be a sadhu. Why? Because he has made the firm resolve. And here Goswami Tulsidas, Bhagwan Goswami Tulsidas ji writes that Bhagwan says that those who are of wicked mind, those who are lusty, selfish, greedy, and with wrong intentions, they cannot seek me, they will not seek me, nor they will come close to me. The fact that he has come to me, even if he has committed any crime, it is my promise that I will protect and transform such a person. And he cannot be such a bad person, otherwise he can't reach me. People ask me, no, Swamiji, do you think that, I have a chance this life? Don't doubt. Yeah. When we have got a guru like Gurudev, have no doubt. Yeah. And you cannot be ordinary for having come there. Come to his abode, come to his parampara. Don't underestimate it. Sanmukha hoi jiva mohi jabahi janma koti agha nasahi tabahi. That when the moment a person turns towards me, and this me is not an individual, you're talking about who? Aneka janma samprapta karma bandha vidahine atma jnana pradhanena. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. That when we bow to the Guru, that when we turn towards the Atma, the source of all bliss, how can in such a person's mind be any desire for any temporary objects from which is born lust, greed, anger, delusions, attachments, conflicts, jealousy, hatred? It cannot be. So I will not abandon Vibhishan. Now that he has come to me. Hanumanji was standing there. He says, yes, this is my Lord. Because confidently he had told Vibhishan that, no? He knows the nature of the Lord. Sugriv doesn't understand. So he says, go bring Vibhishan to me. And when Vibhishan was called there, Vibhishan came running and straight fell at the feet of Ramchandraji. And this is called as Sharnagati, where you don't look at yourself and think that you deserve or you do not deserve. And this verse of Vibhishan that tells you what is Sharnagati. Shravana sujasa suni ayau Prabhu Bhanjana bhavabhir Trahi trahi arati harana Sarana sukhad raghubir Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai Umapati Mahadev ki jai Bolo bhai sab santan ki jai. I have come to you not because I deserve or I have got any validity of or any excuse to come to you other than my utter helplessness. Shravana sujasa suni ayahu. Listening to your glory. From whom? From Hanumanji. Shravana sujasa suni ayahu. I have come here listening to your pure glory, your renown. And what is that? That Prabhu Banjan Bhavabhir. That the Lord, you are the one who destroys the fear of becoming, the fear of samsara, the fear of birth, growth, old age, death, everything. And therefore, trahi trahi arati harana sarana sukhada raghuvir. Protect me, O remover of everyone's helplessness, yeah, whose feet are the refuge and the giver of all bliss and happiness. अस कही करत दंडवत देखा तुरत उठे प्रभु हर्ष विशेष. When Bhagwan saw Vibhishan surrender completely, dandavat pranam, falling like a stick, all limbs surrendered, Bhagwan immediately picked him up and called him as Lankesh. There only Bhagwan called him as Lankesh. And all that glory that he had heard about Hanuman, Bhagwan tells him that he picked him up, called him Lankesh, and anointed him and made him sit beside him along with his brother Lakshman. Ravan kicked such a brother and threw him out of the kingdom. Ramchandraji takes the enemy's brother during wartime and makes him his own brother. And if you can make your enemy ally, what else is? Makes him his own and makes him sit beside him. And he says, Sunu Lankesh sakala gun tore tate tum atisaya priya more. And he says, Vibhishan said that I am devoid of anything, tamas sharira, that also Ravan's brother, I couldn't do any seva, puja, etc. He says, Sunu Lankesh, he's already called him Lankesh. Somebody said, you've already called him Lankesh, you will fulfill your word, because Satya Sankalpa. You will fulfill your word. Your Satya Sankalpa. What if Ravan comes and surrenders? Then what will you do? Now that you've given Lanka to, he says, I will give the bigger kingdom of Ayodhya by telling Bharat to give it to Ravan. If Ravan surrenders. That is the greatness of Ramchandraji. Say somebody else like that. Tate tum atisaya priya more. That, hey Lankesh, you are in a abode of virtues. You are in a abode of virtues. And therefore, you are dear to me. And in the Doha before, he says, Saguna upasaka parahita nirata niti drida name te nar prana saman mama jinke dvij pada prem. In the last verse of the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this is what Bhagwan implies, which is commented. That those who worship me in the form, because this whole universe is the form of the Lord. And worship of the form of the Lord is service of the people in the service of the Lord of Lords. So one who worships me with drida name, regularity, punctuality and sincerity. So saguna upasaka parahita. and who is ever on the path of righteousness, and that is service of the people. Te nar prana samana mama. Such people are dear to me as my own life. For whom? Those who are learned, those who are pure. It's not a caste, not a set of people, but those who are people of virtues. One who is devoted in the service of such good people, admire such people. Such people are dear to me. Ye tu sarvani karmani sanyasya matparaha ananne naiva yogena mabhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. 12th chapter of the Gita, Bhagavan has answered Arjuna's question. Yeah? And says, those who serve me in the form. Yeah? Because they do great service to the world. Those who serve me, they are prana saman priya. They are dear to me as my own self. And I will come and lift them up from this mrityu samsara sagarat. And in the end of the 12th chapter, he says, all those who follow this dharma, which dharma? Of those values of Advaishtha sarva bhutanam maitraha karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha sukha kshami. All that is listed. You are the guna nidhana. You have served, and that way he has even helped Hanumanji in Lanka. So understand, such people are dear to me as my own life. And again, Sevak is dear to me. And Goswami Tulsidas ji says that Jo sampati seva ravanahi deen diye das mat soi sampada bibhishanahi sakuch deen raghunath. That Ravan wanted Lanka, and for that he had to sacrifice his 10 heads, which of course Shivji in his benevolence gave him back. After sacrificing his 10 heads, he stole Lanka, because he sacrificed his 10 heads to Shivji, and Shivji said, what is it that you want? He said, I want Lanka. We sacrifice our head, our ego, so that we can surrender to the infinite. And what did he do? Sacrifice his 10 heads, and when Shivji blessed him, what is it you want that you're sacrificing your 10 heads? He said, give me Lanka. Material world. And deceitfully he stole away Lanka. That sampada, that entire Lanka, when Ramchandraji gave to Vibhishan, he gave it with, I'm not giving much. No? Bhagwan, when he gives us in such abundance, feels, when a person loves, that what I have given is not much. No? There's a beautiful, verse by Goswami Tulsidas ji. ऐसो को उधार जग माही बिन सेवा जो द्रवय दीन पर राम सरिस कहु नाही. That even those who have not served but have surrendered with utter helplessness, because they have no ego as to what can I do. Dravai, not compassionate also, melts on them with love. And there he says, Jo Sampada, that wealth which Ravan took away from Shivji after surrendering his 10 heads, or not surrendering, cutting off his 10 heads. Ati sakucha jiya jani. He gave that to Vibhishan without even feeling that he has given much to Vibhishan. Aisa ko udar jagmahi. Is there someone more benevolent than this? Yeah. Now Ramchandra ji sat with all these ministers, Sugriv, Nal, Neel, Hanuman, Jambavan, and now that Lakshman and Vibhishan. And Bhagwan asks all of them. Now there is this ocean in front of us. So now there is a challenge in front of us. Please give your advice on how we should reach on the other side to Lanka. So how should we cross? Because the ocean is full of wild creatures, sharks, alligators, etc. How can the monkeys safely across this ocean? So, why not we swim? But how can they safely, effectively cross over the ocean? At that time, Vibhishan says that, O Lord, although I know very well that what your mere arrow is capable of to dry off this ocean, however, Sagar is your ancestor, plus it's part of your own creation with all its laws. And since he's the ancestor, he is your Kul Guru. Prabhu tumhara Kul Guru, Jaladhi Kahai Upaya Bichari. Let us ask the ocean to give us the solution. Let us plead him to give us the way. So that without much difficulty, we can cross the ocean. So Bhagwan says to Vibhishan, you have given a very good advice. We'll invoke Sagar. Lakshman didn't like it at all. Yeah. Lakshman didn't like that at all. Mantra yah Lakshman Mantra na yah Lakshman man bhava Rama bachan suni ati dukha pava. When Ramchandra ji said that, Vibhishan, you've given a very good advice. We'll invoke Sagar Devta and get a path through him. Ramchandra ji is saying that. See, you have asked for advice. Vibhishan has given advice. He's just a new minister. He's just come in. And Bhagwan says, we will do what you say. With such humility, Bhagwan says. But mantra na yaha Lakshman man bhava. Lakshman has been with Ramchandra. He knows the prowess of Ramchandra ji. He didn't like these words. Rama bachan suni ati dukha pava. Yeah. See, even there, with Ramchandra ji, these devotees have difference of opinions. What are you worried about? Both are devotees. One is giving a good advice, other is saying, Are you can do anything? He says, Ram bachan suni ati dukha pava. He felt very sad. What is this Vibhishan? Giving advice to Ramchandra ji to plead to the ocean. He says, Nath Daiva Kar Kavana Barosa. How can we trust all this fate, etc.? Dry up this ocean. Just dry up this ocean. He says, Kadar man kahu ek adhara, daiva daiva lasi pukara. It is the lazy and these cowards, that fate, we'll have to wait for fate. Yeah. It is these lazy people who wait for things to happen. And there are others who wonder what happened. Yeah. God will. Daiva Daiva Alasa Pukara. It's the lazy people who keep on saying, if fate is there, if destiny is there, or what will happen, all this. Sunata Bihasi Bole Raghuvira. Ramchandraji understands that Lakshman is not arrogant. He knows the power of Ramchandraji and laughs and he says, younger brother, I will do that only, but be patient. Why can't you do it now? You can do it. Why can't you do it now? Why have to listen to this person that it will happen in time? Why should you be praying to the devatas to have it? He said, let us do what first Vibhishan says and it will happen like this only. Now you calm down. But this is what Lakshman, he gets spirited, but when he is calmed down, he just keeps quiet. And Bhagwan says that bring me the kusha grass, and Bhagwan sits there in meditation. While Bhagwan is in meditation, Ravan, getting the news that is there, and now that Vibhishan has gone there, he sends 2 spies. One of them was called as Shuka. He sent 2 spies there. And these spies, when they come to Bharat and they see the Jai Jaikar that is going on, the praises that is going on. While in Lanka they are saying this Ravan, he doesn't understand anything. He is going to bring the end of all the Rakshasas. He's got no public support anymore. Here every monkey, every bear was ready to lay their life for Ramchandraji, constantly in praise of Ramchandraji. During the glory, even they started praising Ramchandraji. Yeah. And their disguise fell off, and these monkeys caught, and they immediately brought that these are some spies that have come. And when Sugriva, saw them, he said, these are spies. Cut their nose and ears and send them back. They immediately said, you have promise of Raghuvir, the compassionate Lord. See, they said this and they all backed out. At that time, Lakshman came there. They said, good, Lakshman come. Lakshman is not going to spare these people. They immediately Tell me what happened. And they said that, the monkeys wanted to cut my nose and my ears. Because monkeys only go for the nose and the ears, But Lakshman, in fact, protected me and protected us and sent us back with a message that, hey Ravan, wait till we come here, give Sita, otherwise wait till we come here. Come and just surrender to Ramchandraji, he will forgive all your crimes. He says, you are praising that Tapasvi and his brother. They said he's given a letter. He with his left hand he hands it over and says, read it. Now your enemy has written a letter. You don't make it public. And Lakshman's choicest words were there. But for the welfare of Ravan, choicest words means, says, hey, you're ruining your whole kingdom. You just come and surrender to Ramchandraji. He got so angry that he says, you also go to that traitor. And they also. He said, you have said, we and praising Ramchandraji, they came back to Ramchandra. Meantime, Ramchandraji for 3 days had worshipped the ocean. 3 days. And the ocean had not come forth. The whole universe is to assist, all our elements are to assist us towards our spiritual growth towards the Lord. But when Sagar Devta did not appear, Ramchandraji just stood there in front of the ocean and told Lakshman, Lakshman! Yeah, I told Lakshman, just be patient, don't get over anxious. Lakshman, bring me my bow and arrow. Lakshman was already ready with it. I told you. But Bhagwan did not want to make Vibhishan feel low. He gave good advice only. So he gave the ocean the chance. He also tried to do what Vibhishan advises. It's a good advice. But now that the Sagar Devta has not come out, he immediately says, bring me my bow and arrow. And when Ramchandraji stands there with his bow and arrow, all the creatures of the ocean, all the submarine fire, the volcanoes inside the ocean, in fear, all of them, the volcanoes bursting, the creatures running here and there because of the submarine fire. Ramchandraji has not even shot his arrow. He's just standing there in front of the ocean. Sagar Devta, seeing all this, Sagar Devta appears, bows down and says, you see, all the elements are inert. I am just inert only. Yeah? So please, forgive me. Even though I know you can dry up the ocean, but it is your law only. What will be my mahima? Therefore, give me an opportunity. And if I separate and all that, again, it's like partiality. But there is null and nil in your army. And they had been cursed by the rishis, and the curse of the rishis are really blessings. That if they throw, because these monkeys used to pick up their kamandalus and go and throw them in the water, they have been actually blessed by the rishis that whatever they throw in the water will not sink, it will float. Yeah, but how will they stick? That Hanumanji said, you write Ra and Ma, they will stick. Yeah? That is in another Ramayana it is mentioned. But they said it will float. And I will also assist in it floating. And for life you would have created this bridge between Bharat and Lanka. And that's very interesting also, as in Ishavasya Upanishad you find. India is the land of integration. Yeah? In midst of the diversity, to bring about integration. Not unity through sameness, that everybody become like us. Even between spiritual life and material life, our rishis didn't make them distinct, not separate. Thus, if you build this bridge, my glory of ocean being unfathomless will not go, plus your glory will remain forever. But we still doubt, hey, really? Is there a bridge in Lanka? Then when NASA shows photographs, oh, we'll WhatsApp it. And that bridge between Lanka, you can build. Meanwhile, these spies had come, and Bhagwan blessed them. In fact, one of the spies was none other than a great saint. He regained his powers because he was cursed, and he gained his powers and he returned to his abode. He returned to his abode, Sagar Devta getting the blessings of Ramchandraji. Then the last chanda.
निज भवन गवने सिंधु श्री रघुपति यह मत भायौ यह चरित कलिमल हर जथामति दास तुलसी गायौ सुख भवन संशय समन दवन विषाद रघुपति गुण गना तजि सकल आस भरोस गावहि सुनहि संतत सठ मना सकल सुमंगल दायक रघुनायक गुण गान सादर सुनहि ते तरहि भव सिंधु बिना जल जान।
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय,
उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। निज भवन गवनेहु सिंधु श्री रघुपति यह मत बायहु। Taking the blessings of Ramchandra ji in his heart. Nij bhavana gavani Sindhu. Sindhu, the ocean, went to his abode. And Raghupati liked his opinion. Yah charita kali malahar jatamati das tulasi gayahu. And this charita, which is destroyer of all impurities of this Kali Yuga. Tulsidas ji says, with my ability, with my knowledge, with my intellect, with my limitations, I have sung this. Sukha bhavana samshaya samana dhavana vishada raghupati gunagana. This mighty glory of the virtues of Ramchandra ji, who is an abode of bliss, Sukha Bhavana, which destroys all our self-doubt and all our doubts and our sorrow. Taji sakala aas barosa gavahi sunahi santata satmana. Tulsidas ji, all saints and sages have spoken to their own mind, not lectured others. That, hey Satmana, O my crooked mind, taji sakala aas barosa. Abandon all hopes and expectations from this world and just गाविए सुनिए मन रखिए भाव अंतर्गत तीरथ मल नाव सब गुण तेरे में ना ही कोई बिनु तव कृपा भगत न होए. This is found in Guru Granth Sahib by Japji Sahib, by Guru Nanak Sahib, and same words here you find. That listen, sing, and keep that devotion in your heart. And bathe in the confluence of all tirthas, and that is the ocean itself, of the glories of Ramchandraji. Where do people just go for tirth here and there? Antargat tirath mal now. That where Bhagwan resides, that is tirath. And oh mind, just sing the glory. And Sakala Sumangala Dayaka Raghunayaka Gunagan. The bestower of all auspiciousness is this glory that is sung of Sri Raghunayak Ramchandraji. Sadar sunahite tarahi bhava. One who listens with reverence, devotion. Tarahi bhava sindhu bina jalajan. Such a person can travel over or cross over this mighty ocean of samsara, of transmigration, without even support of a bark or a raft or a boat. And don't doubt these words. That whoever has heard it will cross over all obstacles, all difficulties, all challenges, what to say, the entire ocean of samsara. So, Sakala Sumangala Dayaka Raghunayaka Gunagan Sadar Sunahite Tarahi Bhava Sindhu Bina Jal Jan. And very interesting it is. We started our sessions at this abode of Hanumanji Chinmaya Kirti on Ram Navami at sharp 12 o'clock, noon. And we concluded also on Hanuman Jayanti at sharp 12 o'clock. सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. Bhagwan's blessings are there that we even got the opportunity to revel in the stories of Bhagwan. And the glory of the Bhakta is the glory of the Lord. The conclusion of this Gyan Yagya, my gratefulness to each and every one of you who has made it possible and given me this opportunity to revel in the glories of Sri Ram Bhaktas. And remember also the love of our Gurudev, because of which we are all benefiting here today. So to each and every one of you who has served and made it possible for this wonderful inaugural sessions, because where Hanumanji comes, he brings Ram, Sita, Lakshman. Pavanatanaya Sankata Harana Mangalamurati Rupa Rama Lakhana Sita Sahita Hridaya Basau Surabhupa Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai Umapati Mahadev ki jai Bolo bhai sab santan ki jai. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai.
Hari Om. This morning's talk has been sponsored by Karina and Anuj Gupta. I'd like to invite the Yajmans to come up on stage now to receive blessings from Swamiji. The Aarti today has been sponsored by the Bhayani family, Bansri Valmika and Pavan Patanj, and Aditi and Nirvani Gagada. Today's Prasad Pustika booklet has been sponsored by Vinubai Kotecha and family. We thank all of our sponsors for their generous support. Character building begins in childhood, but in our fast-paced lifestyles, children of Indian heritage are rarely exposed to the beauty and greatness of Indian culture. We start young with Shishu Vihar, which are parent and preschooler classes for 2 to 4-year-olds. Bal Vihar and Junior Chik, our classes for children aged 5 all the way through to teenagers, offer a modern-day alternative in which loving sevaks and sevikas share with children stories, bhajans, games, festivals, and creative activities to enable children to connect with Hindu culture in an engaging way. Here's a short video to give you a better idea.
My name's Natasha. I'm Isha.
My name is Amol.
Advait. My name is Sarah and I'm 18 years old. I was in Bal Vihar around 2014-2015. I've been going to Bal Vihar since I was 3 years old.
I started in Bal Vihar when I was about 6 years old.
I recently got gold in a national maths challenge.
I'm studying at the Le Cordon Bleu and I'm studying for a diploma in patisserie.
Studying physics, chemistry and maths.
Bal Vihar has meant so much for me because the ancient Indian stories that we have are becoming relevant to me in my life because the way that they integrate the storytelling into life lessons is very useful.
In Bal Vihar, I really like the fact that we prayed together. I like that communal spirit, and it's definitely given me now a sense that I really do enjoy praying, and I've continued that up.
My favourite part about Bal Vihar is probably the prayers at the beginning, as it's helped me to relax, especially with school and how busy it is.
At Bal Vihar, I found a place where I could meet people who shared the same culture as me and we shared the same beliefs, but it was also a place that I could get answers for all the questions I had that I couldn't get from the textbooks.
From Bal Vihar, I got a lot of very crucial decision-making skills and believe in myself because it helped me as I went forward in life to think about my own values and put my own interests at the top of my priority list.
Currently, Bal Vihar, Shishu Vihar, and Sanskrit and chanting classes for children are virtual, but will be returning as physical classes here at Chinmaya Kirti in Hendon and other locations from next term. So please do get in touch if you'd like to get involved as a sevak, and do keep across our website and mailing list info to stay across the plans, and do, of course, send your children and grandchildren. Earlier this week, we told you about our exciting research wing, Chinmaya Academy. Another course on offer is a chance to study the philosophy and application of the entire Bhagavad Gita over a period of 18 months with regular online classes and self-study. So please do go to chinmayaacademy.org to register for this and look at some of the other courses on offer. A reminder to take the opportunity to buy a copy of the newly released book Dharma Shastra in our first floor bookshop, which beautifully unpicks an often misunderstood and misapplied principle that sits at the heart of the Hindu tradition. We have just a few remaining copies left signed by Pujya Swamiji. We've announced it daily, but tomorrow our most uplifting occasion of Hanuman Jayanti takes place from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. with dinner prasad. And on Tuesday evening, Swamiji is conducting a special talk for those aged between 28 and 45 years, The Pursuit of Perfection, which will explore our modern obsession with projecting a perfect life. Dinner will be served from 7 p.m. Do join us if you're the target age, or spread the word to anyone you know of this age who might benefit. Some very exciting news is that Pujya Swamiji is planning to return to London for a short trip in mid-September. Among the events planned for that visit will be a residential 6-day Make It Happen retreat in the UK. Make It Happen was created by Swamiji 20 years ago. Since then, hundreds of people from across the world have transformed their lives as a result of attending. In this course, Swamiji teaches powerful mental techniques to overcome subconscious limitations, gain greater happiness and success in the world, and further spiritual progress. There are countless stories of attendees whose careers and relationships have been transformed as a result of attending. Swamiji's conducted Make It Happen retreats, residential retreats globally, and this UK course will happen at a beautiful manor house in the British countryside, and numbers will be limited to 40. It will sell out quickly, so if you would like to find out more or reserve your place, please email Milan, and his details are on the screen now. A reminder to place your Guru Dakshina envelopes in the boxes on your way out if you haven't already done so. I'd now like to invite Chinmaya Mission UK trustee, Dr. Ramesh Bhai Patni, to formally thank Swamiji, after which we will do the Aarti. Hari Om.
Param Pujya Swami Swaroopananda, Brahmacharini Sri Priya Chaitanya, fellow seekers, Hari Om. Transformation. Over the last 2 years, over the last 1 year, over the last 1 week, transformation of this space. And you can see how this space has transformed itself into a wonderful space full of sacredness. And at the heart of this space is Bhagwan Sri Ram. Transformation of this physical sacred space. Transformation of the virtual space, which took over 2 years. The spirit of Chinmaya Mission continued because of reconfiguration, reconnection, re-engagement in the virtual space. And it kept on going. And I tell you that I've heard stories that this was the lifeline for many of our devotees. And I know one case at least. This lady was going down, and she said, if I had not had these classes, I don't know what would have happened to me. That silent transformation which took place in the virtual space. And then the transformation of inner space, which Swamiji has so wonderfully explained to us. And this inner transformation of Hanumanji, right from Matanga Rishi giving the curse to Hanumanji, and Jambavanji, the greatest psychologist and therapist, who brought out this huge potentiality within Hanumanji that took him on this journey to rescue Mata Sita. Can you imagine that this transformation, like Swamiji has told us, is available to all of us? And this transformation is what I talked to one of my PhD students in Chinmaya University. I said, if you really want to see something here, here's the Hanuman condition. And here's some modality and models which you can use, which can bring about a wonderful transformation of each and every human being. And this is the inner transformation. And this can only happen through the grace of God, through the grace of Guru. And here is Swamiji, who is the perfect instrument of God and Pujya Gurudev. And he has given us this exposition, excellent exposition of the Sundarkand, and given us the interwoven journeys of all these divine, human, Vanara personalities, which is such a wonderful discourse which Swamiji has given us. So for that, Swamiji, thank you very much from all of us. And of course, Swamiji's graceful presence here after 3 years has been an amazing experience for all of us. So thank you once more, Swamiji. Thank you to all the well-wishers and all the contributors who have given so generously to make this event happen. Thank you to all the sevaks and sevikas who have been running around, and you have seen them giving their life, their energy into making this happen. And thank you to all of you for coming here day after day in the presence of the great Master and enjoying the knowledge and the devotion which Swamiji has so wonderfully presented to all of us. So thank you all of you. Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
आरति श्री हनुमान लला की, आरति श्री हनुमान लला की, दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ कला की, आरति श्री हनुमान लला की, जाके बल से गिरिवर कांप, रोग दोष जाके निकट न झांप, अंजनी पुत्र महाबल दाई, संतन के प्रभु सदा सहाय, आरति श्री हनुमान लला की, आरति श्री हनुमान लला की, दो वीरा रघुनाथ पठाए, लंका जारी सिया सदिलाए, लंक सुकोट समुद्र सिखाई, जात पवन सुत पार न लाई, लंका जारी असुर संहारे, सिया राम जी की काज सवारे, आरति श्री हनुमान लला की, आरति श्री हनुमान लला की, लक्ष्मण मूर्छित पड़े सखारे, हानि संजीवन प्राण उबारे, पैठी पताल तोरी जमकारे, अहि रावण की भुजा उखारे, बाएं भुजा असुर दल मारे, दाहिने भुजा संत जन तारे,
आरती श्री हनुमान लला की, आरती श्री हनुमान लला की। सुर नर मुनि आरती उतारे, जय 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 हनुमान उचारे।
कंचन थाय कपूर लोचाई, आरती करत अंजना माई। जो हनुमान जी के आरती गावे, बसे बैकुंठ परम पद पाए।
आरती श्री हनुमान लला की, आरती श्री हनुमान लला की, आरती श्री हनुमान लला की। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकं, नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः। तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं, तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। बोले सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
See you tomorrow all for Hanuman Chalisa chanting.